Jack Anderson's dad was a half brother to him.
Yeah,
I think.
right.
Remember
right.
Jack?
Mm-hmm.
And but Aunt Hattie would always say that what was his mother's name? Louette? I can't remember now. She could throw more out the window than Aunt Hattie could collect or something. She said she could have anything, and Aunt Hattie couldn't have much of anything.
Who's this, Parley's mother?
Parley's wife, Aunt Hattie.
Oh, Hattie. Hattie said that about...
Said that about Jack Anderson's mother.
Oh, Jack Anderson's mother. Yeah, Jack came from a different wife. Parley came from... Her name was Joanna Stormfeld. And I think Jack came from the other one. And she was... They talk about her being kind of insane. Crazy.
Well, Uncle Parley was always good to me. I can't remember him. And he was always kind of fun.
Well, he looks so stern. In every picture I see him, he just looks...
Does.
But you know what? When I read about how that little boy died of theirs in the farming accident...
Wouldn't that be terrible?
That would just
that'd
wreck your
be
life
awful.
almost.
Really would. And I
That's a
think
Fullenbaugh right there.
that's
isn't it?
my daughter.
Oh, that's your daughter?
Yeah, she's a Fullenbaugh now. She married Mark, and they were married 4 months, and he died. Been tough.
He was succeeded his dad down there, huh?
Mhm.
But they had been married 4 months.
4 years.
4 years?
4 years. They had been married 4 years when he died. And it was such a shock. It's been terrible.
That was the second marriage for both of them?
No, it was Mari's third.
Oh, okay.
She says when I have an obituary, it's really going to be something.
Is she married again
She's
now?
a sweetheart. No.
She live in town?
She lives in Salt Lake.
So Parley was, and I think all those guys drank quite a bit.
Yeah, they all did.
And you know what I think?
And then, later on, then they went the other way. Anyway, Millen did.
Yeah, Millen did.
Millen, and he one time he had taken Leanne they lived just a block, 2 blocks from here on this side of the street. And he'd gone to the theater to take Leanne to a show, and on the way back he had something happen to him. He just had a kind of stroke or something, and they got him home, and they came and administered to him, and he promised the Lord that he'd never take another drink, and he never did.
Was that right?
That was when Leanne was just a little girl.
They said he was Sevier County's first war orphan.
He was.
And of course he was then raised by the Macmillans, pretty much, and the Gled Hills would have been. But yeah, I can see why he'd get spoiled.
Who's this that you're talking about?
Millen, Gled Hills.
It's Leanne, the one that's Leanne. It's her.
Yeah, he married her sister.
Your sister, Leon?
Leon?
Well, she hated her name. She says it's a boy's name. So sometimes I called her Leon. Mary Evelyn tried to get her to change it to Lee, but she just hated her name. But Millen would say, Leon.
So Mary Evelyn and Leon, Millen are...
They were raised together.
They're raised together. They're not brother sister, but they're...
No, but they were raised in the same house.
Right.
Because his grandmother raised him, and of course Lucille and John helped too, but Millen, he didn't know how to work.
No, he didn't.
No, he wasn't taught.
But he sure turned out, he sure made a change.
Yeah, he was a great guy. They were so good to me. I loved him.
He died first?
He had Alzheimer's. Both of my sister's husbands had Alzheimer's. Or Alzheimer's, whatever you say, however you say it.
I can't say it, so I say dementia.
Okay, well, it's about the same thing.
Well, a lot of those Tuttle sisters had it too, didn't they?
I don't think so.
Seems like, well, at least they ended up in the Richfield Care Center. A number of them that I've read about. It's because they outlived their husbands so many years.
But I don't think they had dementia, because it seemed like they were pretty sharp right up to the last. When I knew them, they were cute.
Were they?
Mhm. Real good-looking women and dressy, and they had a good time.
Good sense of style.
Aunt Lizzie especially. She'd walk down the street with her head up and just, oh, she was cute.
You know what impressed me about her? She was married to Daniels at first, and they divorced. He went to live with his mother, never married again.
No, it was she was married to John Hendrickson.
Hendrickson
yeah.
first, that's right.
But he went on a mission. They had 4 children,
Yeah.
and he went on a mission right in the middle of her having all those kids. And when he came back, she wasn't in love with him anymore.
Oh,
That's what I've heard.
okay.
And she must have met Uncle Wid to a dance or something. I don't know. I never did find out where they.
I found out it's in her history in that
Is
Glenwood
that-
book.
I read that, but I've forgotten.
He had got 3 of the kids, and she had 1.
Yeah, the first one died. One of them died. The one they named Sarah died.
Is that right?
And then she raised Clay and Mary and took Verla with her.
Right.
And I spent a lot of time at their home because Mother being a nurse one time, she was taking care of a Mrs. Parks over in Annabelle that was dying with diabetes, and so I stayed with Aunt Lizzie and Uncle Wid for about a month, and Aunt Lizzie was the same age as those children, practically.
Huh.
Boy, they worked. Those girls worked. They stomped hay, they milked cows. Every one of them had cows they had to milk.
These are Wid's kids?
Wid's kids. The 2 boys were gone. Bliss and Maurice were gone. They were married and out of the home. But there were the girls, 4 of them, I think. She must have had a rough time. That would have been hard.
It would have been hard.
Wouldn't
And Daniels, just down here, had the dry cleaning shop. Bob Daniels. Was that Lizzie's? Was that Lizzie and Wid
She had
together?
Joe and Bob and Roy Dean and Madeline. See, I can remember a couple of things.
You remember a whole lot.
You're doing very well.
But
Is that her quilt?
no,
Okay.
that's when they had over to the Culture Club one day and I took some pictures. These are all pictures I've taken that are on there.
So your daughter married a Fullenbaugh.
Yeah, so, and they were cousins.
They were second.
Third cousin,
Third cousins.
fourth, maybe fourth, I don't know. They said they'd loved each other all their lives, and we wouldn't let them get married because we were afraid they'd have 2-headed kids.
They're cousins?
Uh-huh.
He was the publisher of the Enterprise Record. He took it over from his father, and then
The
The-
Richfield.
I mean, the
I
Richfield
was-
Reaper.
I
I'm
was
sorry,
gonna
Richfield
say,
Reaper.
they
and
go to
he
ch-
died of a massive
Mhm.
heart attack. He was how old was he? Not that
I
old.
think he was only 59.
Yeah.
This was the one that they'd only been married 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was a shock.
Yeah, he was over the price, I think. Just
But
fell
his
over.
dad died the same way. Marge just found him dead on the couch. Living room couch, I guess.
A lot of stress in that business.
Mm-hmm. He wasn't very happy with it at the last. I don't think he was feeling well at all for a while.
We're just talking to Warren. That's how his dad died, Oris Clough.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, came home from lunch. He was 59, 60, and
Mhm.
just sat down and died. Massive heart attack.
His mother was quite a historian.
Yes, she was.
She did a lot for Richfield.
She did a lot of stuff I've read of
Mhm.
hers, and she
was
just lived
good.
up from Josh and Bess. Should stop in
Cute
every
lady.
day. Yeah. Okay, well we better leave you. You need to have dinner and whatever. But man, it's been a lot of fun.
Well, I'm so happy that you came because I've enjoyed your Facebook. And
Well,
I've
thanks.
learned a lot of things that I didn't know and seen pictures I haven't ever seen. So it's been fun.
Well, I think there's a lot more pictures out there. We just have to.
Did anyone ever get the ones from Burville? Not Burville. Kisherm from
Vioma's.
Vioma's.
Claire? Not yet.
I guess he still has them under the bed.
He still has a number of things that I think belong to other members of the family, and he's not about to let go.
How old would he be?
Claire's got to be closing in on 90.
I never did know Claire very well. My husband did. Curtly knew him because he used to come and visit with him in his service station.
Yeah, that's what he does. He visits. He's kind of, he's a bit retarded.
Yeah, a little bit retarded.
He drives. He lives over in Kishoram, but every day he'll make a loop. He'll come to Richfield or Loa or Bicknell.
So
he would be Grandma Leda's nephew. Cousin to mother.
Okay.
Cousin to mother. Just he and his sister. And his sister died really young.
Faye.
Faye.
I think it was Faye.
Faye was her name. Yeah.
And I guess she had a daughter that lives down in Salina, but I never did meet her.
I think she died too.
Yeah, not too long ago.
So they're not much in the Lipsey line. It was interesting to study that Lipsey Burr murder thing that you probably remember firsthand.
I read that you did, and it was interesting.
It was.
There's a lady that lives up the street here that was a Lipsey. She probably would have known lots about it.
Was that the Orderville murder?
No, it was over in Burrville where they got into it over irrigation water.
Yeah,
And I looked on the census, and Parley and Hattie lived almost between them. On one side there was Lipsey's on it, and just down the street, and Burrville's only a dozen houses. The Burrs, so they were right there when it all happened.
Aunt Hattie used to drive a school bus.
Yeah. She had some spunk.
Oh, Della said,
she must have if she was driving.
said she drove a little two-seated car. And I don't know what kind it was.
When she was living in Burrville?
And I've tried to get as much as I could from Della, but she's told me a few things.
Maybe you think she's well enough if we stopped and saw her? She might enjoy a visit?
She'd probably be thrilled, but I don't know whether she could. Are you going up there that way, or
yeah, we're actually staying with our daughter in Lehigh, but I wanted to make a trip up to Ogden, and
I think she'd be so thrilled. Really, she's nothing like she was even a month ago, but she still remembers, and I think she'd be thrilled. And she's in the Heritage Place on Main Street in Bountiful.
Okay.
And it's about she was living at 650 North Main, but now it's, I don't know just where it is. It's down the street.
But it's called like the Heritage House or something.
And
is this your sister?
Della Moorhead.
Moorhead's an old Richfield name too, isn't it?
I don't think so. But it's south of 650, wherever that'd be.
Somewhere south of 650.
But it's on Main Street. Right on Main Street. It's when you come, let's see.
It's right down Bountiful.
In Bountiful. So if you go at 500 South, isn't it? We always take off at 500 South in Bountiful, because she lived in Carriage Crossing. That's a big condominiums, a lot of condominiums behind Dee's. That's where she used to live.
So is this the one that's going to be 100 if she makes it?
Okay. But she's just failed in the last 2 months or something like that. She's been in a place having therapy, and she just got sick of it and wanted to go back to Heritage. And I don't know. It's sad.
Blind and
But she wants to live to be 100 if she possibly can.
How old are her children?
There she is, right there.
Oh. Yeah, whoops.
You
Okay.
can't get her back.
Can't get her back, I guess.
Fun.
'Cause it's on the.
Let's get. She'll come. She'll sneak up in a minute.
But the last time I saw her, she looked so beautiful. I mean, before I saw her this time, she just looked so beautiful. And she's blind, but
She has children.
she has one son,
Oh.
and he's been up there visiting with her, and he's leaving now this weekend, I think. Probably tomorrow or for a while, but they said they'd be back.
Old age is not for sissies.
It sure isn't. It's disgusting, but it's better than the alternative.
I think it's better than the alternative. It is. Well, okay. I'm going to send an announcement out tonight about that thing in Annabelle. That'll be 2 weeks from tomorrow. And that'll be fun. I know that, what's her name? Marilyn Fleming.
Mm-hmm.
She was anxious to
Marilyn's a neat lady.
get together, right? And several of her sisters live there now, too.
And I went to a DUP thing over there the other day, and her other sister, now I can't think of her name, was in charge of it. And they're talented girls.
They are, and I guess they like being back home in Glenwood.
Mm-hmm. And the one daughter that lost her husband, years and years ago, Ivory's oldest daughter, her husband got killed, and she's never remarried, but she has 4 of the nicest daughters you could ever imagine, and they sing so beautifully.
And they live in Glenwood?
And
Or
one
up
of them
in-
lives in Monroe, south of Monroe. I don't know where the rest of them live. I just know the one real well.
You know, Lee, seemed like her first husband died, right? Did she marry twice?
Mm-hmm.
And one of her daughters was Lejeune, and she died young. Is that right?
Lejeune was
Yeah,
on that
Lejeune.
picture that
Did you ever find out?
graduated in 1941 with
I don't know.
I remember the name Lejeune because I wonder if this was Lejeune.
I have looked and looked at that picture, and I can't tell whether it's Lejeune, but the reason I think it must have been is because you said something about what was on the back of her name. June was on the back.
It was on the back
But
of the
I know
picture.
it was Uncle Bill, and it was Lita, and Lloyd Roberts,
Right?
but I don't know about her.
They're on the mountain. There's just a
Mhm.
group of. That's what's fun is when you get a picture like that, and people will know different people, so you can
Mhm.
finally put it together and tell who everybody is.
I could do most of them.
There's, but I think it's her daughter lives up in Bountiful area,
Mhm.
and they were the mission presidents in England.
Oh, are they?
They got back last
I didn't
year.
know that.
Yeah, she's been very active in the church.
I spent a lot of time with them too,
Did you?
because Mother'd be out nursing, and so I'd spend time with my aunts, and I spent a lot of time in up at the fish hatchery in Glenwood.
Mm-hmm. You got to know everybody.
Mm-hmm. And I got to know Grandma really good when I was little, because I spent quite a bit of time there, but not as much as I did with different aunts. I spent a lot of time with Aunt Georgia, Aunt Lizzie, Aunt Lil,
Which one's the Hylas?
Eva, and not much time with them, but a little bit. They're the ones that had the store, and then he was the postmaster.
Yep. All those girls stayed very close. Georgia went to Sigurd. I think they lived out there for a while before they
Yeah.
moved into Richfield.
They were out there when my parents were out in Central and in Inverary. And then, but I passed their house. It's just two or three blocks down this way where Uncle George and Aunt Georgia lived. And I think how happy she must have been when they got that house, 'cause that was a beautiful house.
I don't know which one it is.
It's don't know how to tell you. It's up there close. It's on this 300 West,
Third West
and it's on a corner. And I was trying to think who lived across the street. If you knew, did you know Francis Chavis?
No, I know Joe Gentry was on the corner of.
But that isn't it.
Okay.
It's just
All right.
south of here.
She must have been really happy to get there.
Yeah,
Huh?
she must have been really happy because it's a beautiful old house.
It's on that side of the street.
Right on the corner.
On the corner, so I can probably find that.
And it's just a block east of Anderson Floral.
Okay.
But it's
All
on
right.
the north side of the street, right on the corner.
Okay.
And
I
it
know
has
what
all
you're
that
talking about.
gingerbread up above, you know, it would have been really a pretty house in those days.
He was a farmer, wasn't
I don't know what he was. I think he was a sheep herder, and I guess he farmed a little bit.
he? His
He
name
was
was
far-
George. She was Georgia.
And he was fun, lots of fun to be around. He was a big tease and just fun to be around. But I don't think he worked too hard. I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he did.
You know, when I was growing up, I was so confused with these aunts because I had the Tuttle aunts and then my grandma Lita's, and they were, you know, age-wise, they weren't that far apart. And so for when you're young, they're just one continuous bunch of aunts.
Yeah, because Lita she was the oldest one, oldest grandchild, so we called her Aunt Lita. And Aunt Hattie was the oldest daughter.
So it was like a generation that was pretty closely aligned. They
But
called
they
the
were-
Glenwood aunts the kissing aunts.
Yeah.
They must have hugged and kissed
They
you.
always kiss you. And one of my kids said, and they always smelled so good. Some kind of perfume they had on, I guess. And they had necklaces and earrings. And
Oh, just like that picture of them there. They all had nicely dressed.
my sisters did that too, but I was just the opposite. I didn't care whether I had a necklace on or not.
You were the tomboy. Well, that's good. Come on, Tara, we better go. And thank
Well,
you so
thanks.
much.